Hello and welcome to episode 250 of our SAP on Azure video podcast. Today is July 7th, and together with Goran, we are here to talk about anything related to SAP and Microsoft. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So, vibe coding is a very hot topic at the moment. I myself have explored a few things, and the results using Claude or GitHub Copilot are actually pretty impressive. When doing this with ABAP, the results are only so-so, I would say, at the moment. From time to time, the LLM suggests function modules or data objects that actually not exist in your SAP system. This can be quite frustrating. So wouldn't it be great if there was a way to ground the LLM on the data objects that are actually available in my SAP system? Well, I'm glad to have Alice Vinogradova back with us today, and she will give us a sneak peek at what happens if you combine the OData MCP Bridge, a custom OData service which exposes classes, interfaces, and functions, and GitHub Copilot. So Alice, welcome back to our show. Before you show us some additional magic, I mean, you're really on a roll, right? You publish new articles every week, or even more frequent, and they're all amazing. I just read the one where you compared the SAP system with the Z80, which was quite interesting. So before we go into the new things that you wanted to show us today, maybe again, like last time, a quick introduction to tell our viewers, our listeners, what you do at Microsoft.
I am a software developer, senior software developer, if it counts.
Perfect.
So I work in Microsoft almost 3 years now, and I started as a internal in-house ABAP developer in 2002, so about 23 years ago, and it will be 23 years of ABAP in my life, and probably 33 years of programming in my life. And I started, as you mentioned, with Z80, not Z18 like assembler, but ZX Spectrum clone, and which was powered by Z80. That's why I have really warm feelings to that microprocessor and platforms on it. So that was the recent article and the recent project was just for fun to see if you can do something interesting on that thing, and to just kind of have do the kudos, because almost all the optimizations that I used in ZVDB vector search in ABAP was originated from theirs. They might be not relevant in current recent processors, but in ABAP it was good enough to use them, and that's actually make it possible to do this stuff. Yeah, cool. I hope that will clarify.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So and I mean, you have a very long ABAP history and a lot of experience in this area, obviously, and I think that probably also was one of the reasons why recently you released the OData to MCP Bridge. So this was one of the previous episodes that we had. Can you tell us a little about what's so cool about the OData MCP Bridge? And just to be clear, I'm a huge fan of the OData MCP Bridge.
So it is kind of connecting the dots between really diverse and rich universe of all the OData services, which are available mostly in ERP system, SAP, Dynamics,
Oracle, Salesforce, everyone, yeah,
and MCP, which is the most the hottest topic in AI community, and specifically in AI agentic applications, because that will give the tools to agents to do some stuff somewhere, and why not to give them access to your ERP system? That sounds scary for someone, but yeah, we can use the read-only mode, so it will not break anything, I hope. So yeah.
No, I mean, for me, it was just super impressive that generally so far you see those different agents which are specialized to do something. So if you think about, okay, one SAP system which has thousands of different business processes, you know. So there were some demos you are doing for purchase, okay. But there's just one. There are so many, you know, you would break yourself in kind of developing specialized agent just for that, you know, which is sounds like a huge task. You know, with this MCP bridge, basically you are saying just do the work. You have one layer in between which is handling that kind of stuff behind, right? And that was for me super impressive, really, and making stuff really easier, much easier.
And I think, Gordon, just to add to this, this is also the thing that really surprised me. As you said, you pick any OData service, and just to be clear, this is not only SAP OData services. This is an OData service from your Oracle system. This is an OData service from Dynamics. This is an OData service from ServiceNow, from Salesforce, from Workday, from everyone who supports OData service. You can easily take this. And then the even more surprising thing for me is I'm getting more and more sophisticated to ask really complicated questions.
Yes.
And it's so mind-blowing. Then instead of getting an answer, oh, I have no idea what this is, the LLM goes in and asks maybe 10 follow-up questions in the background. I mean, querying this, calling this OData service with these filters, with that filters, with this, calling it another entity type, and then it comes up with an answer. It's so impressive what is possible, and all because of the simplicity of converting more or less an OData service into an MCP server. And Alice, I'm sure you've seen this, but there are now more and more public directories or something like that, MCP hubs, where hundreds of MCP servers are listed. And I saw your OData MCP Bridge is also already listed on quite a lot of these MCP server yellow pages or whatever you might call them. So I think you're gaining a lot of fame at the moment.
This is not for fame. This is my work. This is my job. Yeah, but basically, I'm trying to solve my own tasks, and that's kind of the side effect of that, basically. So yeah, and time to remember our first conversation when we met 1.5 years ago. Probably that was in the context of that high quality data set creation for ABAP to make LLMs understand ABAP better and maybe write ABAP better. So it was like I did it for Olama or something like that. Oh, sorry, not for Olama, but just Olama. And from 0 to something, it was like quite impressive. And during that conversation, first conversation with you, we mentioned this. My passion is automation, and the limit is automate the automation. So we are close to do this. We're close to automate the automation. That's and then we have to introduce the fourth law of Isaac Asimov for robotic laws. So whatever robot is doing, a salary goes to us. not to the robots. But we should secure that part.
So. But you actually mentioned already some foundational things that we also want to cover today. So ABAP and LLM. Goran and I, a few weeks back, we also had a session about GitHub Copilot now being available in Eclipse, or more specifically in ADT, in the ABAP development tools. And in this session, we also made it very clear that the quality of this is actually not fantastic. I mean, it is supported now. I think one of the key drivers to make GitHub Copilot available in Eclipse was really Java, so that Java developers would now be able to leverage Eclipse and then leverage GitHub Copilot in this environment. But on the way, there were a lot of questions from customers, from developers. Could this also work for ABAP? And okay, so the GitHub Copilot team also enabled now GitHub Copilot for ABAP. But as we quickly saw, it's great to build a Hello World ABAP program, but when you wanted to do something more sophisticated, sometimes it worked, but sometimes it really hallucinated, and it invented some function modules or classes that were actually not there. And then the code that what got activated didn't actually work. It didn't make any sense. And I think that's also one area, Alice, where you thought, well, how can we fix this? How can we ground the code generation with the data that is actually in my specific SAP system, with my function modules, potentially with my naming conventions and stuff like that. And yeah, maybe you can talk a little about what you have done there, and then maybe then also even show us some of the things that you have done there.
Yes, there is something I can show. So basically, well, it all started like about 2 years ago when the original GitHub Copilot was released, and it was like mind-blowing for other languages that we could use, and in VS Code it was really mind-blowing. So immediately I wanted the same thing for ABAP, and then I created like first naive implementation, which will just take the code on previous instruction and send it to LM, and immediately it become clear that it's just really naive and it will not work because it doesn't know the context. It doesn't know everything, like environment and everything else. So first time I wanted to resolve it inside ABAP ecosystem. So that's why I added this AST extraction, dependency graph and whatever. So everything else, and then you can inject that and then it will be improved. So that's like, it is working. It is called yet another ABAP Copilot, because I believe there's plenty of them probably. So, but now with this MCP to data service, like it is really, this is amazing how it's simple to ground our GitHub Copilot to the actual data, and actual data structures and actual functions and actual code units that we have in our SAP and ABAP system. Because all we need to do is expose yet another OData service with a list of programs and source code of programs, classes, interfaces, function modules, maybe CDSs and packages. And then we just add one small instruction. Please, before you generate anything, check in the system with this MCP tools, are these things actually exist in the system? And boom, 99, okay, not 99, 91.5% hallucination is gone. So kind of, yeah, but it's really good, and it's really good enough to proceed and speed up all your kind of findings and make this flows kind of seamless and programming flow. I mean, so the next step would be, okay, so it want to use some tools, or sorry, some functions or some classes where it can get the right way to use it. So okay, we can expose the interface, all the public methods, all the parameters, but anyway, you have to know how to do that. Well, you know that there is a place called unit test classes, and what exactly in there? It exactly testing the functionality of that class. Probably not all of them have it, but okay. Even if we don't have it, we can just go where used, find this whole dependency, and get all the examples of this code that we want to use. That's it. And LLM is really good at following patterns, and if you show examples and patterns, like it will be 99%. Okay, now 99. So still, I would say that the current LLMs that are available now are kind of better in understanding ABAP than to than writing ABAP. And this is kind of, as we all know, speak language is like much harder than understanding some other language. So, but with this context awareness and this grounding to the actual ground truth, it really catches up. So it's like really amazing. It's mostly as amazing as it would be after some iterations of fine-tuning on or like improvements. So that's probably it. So this kind of the ultimate solution to automate the automation even here. So now I would say we are already in era of ABAP Vibe Coding. Well, like small pieces, like
the first step.
First step, yeah. But yeah, we're almost there. So yeah. So what do you want me to show?
Exactly. I was just gonna say, can you show us a little? I mean, now I think you made everyone very excited about the possibilities. So maybe you can show us.
So let me share my screen, and I will look at that interaction. Yes. So this is our MCP OData adapter. So we can start with Claude Code, because that was the first thing that was actually working. So if we will go here and enable ABAP Autopilot Go.
So just to catch up, so now this is via the MCP bridge. You have exposed this an MCP server here that is delivering the implementation that connects to an OData service in your SAP system. You now enable these tools in Claude Desktop, which means any query that you submit here is able to use this MCP server to connect to your SAP system.
Yeah, and just for my colleagues, this is not production system. This is not ours. This is my personal system, which is like hosted here in the closet. So nothing, no security breaches. Okay. So and we can see that there is a tool called OData Service Info, which is like basically the wrapper on top of metadata. Then we have some activation log. This is for tools like activation and syntax checks. So let's skip them. So we can see that there is a class set, the way to expose all the classes and with their source code, the same for function. Interfaces, programs, and unit test. You can probably pick up the unit test from those classes, which are kind of exposing the stuff, and other stuff. But that's enough to do something.
Yeah, and just so, and this is just an OData service that you have created in the Z namespace in your SAP system. And this OData service, as you just outlined, has access to all this information. So it exposes the available classes, it exposes the available reports, the exposes function modules or whatever. And here in this scenario now, out of this OData service, you create the MCP server, and Claude is now able to access your custom specific OData service that you have.
Yeah, that's correct. And we can ask like, please inspect the MCP ABAP related. I don't remember how it goes. We'll let them figure it out.
And now we should be able to see what Claude is going to call, which tools to call.
Yeah, so the first obviously is the metadata. So now it will be obvious what is inside. Then when it's done, I can probably ask anything else. Yes, filter package. Oh, interesting.
Okay, now it asks for access. Exactly. So if this is the first time to call a certain tool, then Claude just wants to make sure that it gets confirmation.
Oh, fascinating. Claude is also impressed. Okay.
This is your own SAP system. Okay, yeah. With many custom packages you've created. Okay, let me explore.
So
let me check what classes are available.
Oh yeah, is it LLM? Like maybe another topic for later. Yeah. So I mean, while it is exploring.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exploring, but yeah, we can. So basically, what we can do, we can ask to create something, to come up with something. But yeah, this is quite slow. Let's go to, and just to highlight, Claude Code is easily overwhelmed with context if it is non-paid version. With paid, it is working better, but I would say that it is not. It is not created for the coding things, because coding and vibe coding agents are really good at managing context, which is like huge, and you have to juggling all the concrete source code and their connections and everything. So and Claude Code is completely for different things to be like assistant in your kind of daily task. I don't know to speak to you. So the obvious choice is GitHub Copilot, which now has one moment. There,
and that's the same thing for me. I mean, I don't have the paid version of Claude Desktop. So for me, as you said, GitHub Copilot is the perfect tool there, because there I have a much broader context window basically that I can leverage.
Yes, why I was still using the Claude Desktop, it was the most forgiving agent that was like accepting all the malfunctioning MCPs, and it was just working as I would expect it. And other was like really picky and said, oh, I don't like this MCP. Sorry, I cannot see any tool. So that's why it was really hard to make it. But good news, guys, this is working now with Copilot. GitHub Copilot, RuCode, which is the clone of Klein, which is free open source extension agentic for VS Code, and it also works with Claude Code, which is a terminal command line tool. So let's start with Copilot. We can go to configure tools. Oh, I can see that they are like 1,000, so probably we have two. So this is the one that we want to use. This is ABAP Autopilot. And then I will have to probably disable all the others, and some may take some time because there is no, I cannot see any other more user-friendly way to go through all the servers and disable them.
But while you do this, I actually really liked what you did. You really helped me out that the MCP bridge has now additional functionalities to filter. So obviously you had the filters to remove all write operations right from the beginning or something like that. So that you could, from the very beginning, say only expose these tools with an MCP server. So instead of having a list of 200 tools for a specific MCP server, you would only have the 20 tools for the MCP server. So I really liked all the improvements that you have done in the meantime with the MCP bridge.
And thank you for feedback and like actual usage scenario, because that is where like, improvements come from. Because when you kind of solving your own problems, you probably will solve all the other people's problems, because they would probably have the same thing. Because yes, the limitation was that Copilot only can use up to some number of tools, and why would you expose some tools that you are not going to use? And probably that in the first case it would be something that is just make it real only, for example, or something like that. So, and it will decrease the thing. So now we can see that it should work. I'm not sure why I pressed that. Okay, now the first question. Please, oh, should I? Yeah. Is it better? Yeah, probably is better.
Yeah, that's good.
Please inspect available MCP. So yeah, work. Okay.
Oh.
Obviously, yeah. When you show something, it will not work. Okay, something happened. Sorry. Oh yeah, probably something wrong with Claude. Let's switch to GPT 4.1. And it should work, because there's probably some issues with connectivity, or maybe with high load. That please do this. Okay. Yes.
Let's see. It's at least taking. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah. First time. Yes, we agree. Yes, please read everything. Whatever. Yeah, I trust you. And yeah. So basically, yeah. this is the metadata. So now we know that we can explore. So let me ask this thing. Please find please search for ZCL LLM classes and explain the most interesting ones. Let him decide what is interesting, what is not. I mean, we have to trust LLMs because it is deciding what is interesting and what's not on Netflix, wherever. Who are we to decide what is interesting, what is not?
What is an interesting
class?
A class in your SAP system? And so now what's happening? The MCP server actually accesses your SAP system, and there it looks for classes that have LLM in them. It returns this information. It has insights on the content of these classes, obviously, and then it can decide, which ones are actually interesting. And that's the answer that we are getting right now.
And probably the most exciting part that I personally, I'm a visual kind of person, so when it's visualized, I understand it better. So please generate mermaid diagrams on console flow and data flow. Okay, and then I hope it will be all explained. And the good part, okay, I need to know this. The most interesting. Which classes? The most interesting, of course. Yeah, so that's like also illustrating that even with really vague and non-concrete request, it will help you with to clarify what you actually want, and then wow, it's there. Not sure. Should we check how it looks like? Do you want to check? I hope we will open.
So it created a flowchart, but it was not able to render it itself, right? That's
well, yes. As far as I understand, GitHub Copilot doesn't have this mermaid display tool built in, but RuCode can do that. But let me go to mermaid.live, and I will just.
And then you can use it there to
put it
perfect.
Here. And okay, I'll do this. Yes. Oh yeah.
Cool.
What? No. Well, this is something from somewhere. How to get the graph list. Okay, that's another explanation. Let's maybe go here, check what it is. So this is how.
Oh, this is now your set LLM 00.
So this is edge, and this is the graph. The connectivity graph, like dependency graph and call graph. So that's probably another. So yeah, probably decided that the most interesting one are about the graph, call graph improved, and it just showed how it looks like. So basically we can ask to create some program, and
let's go there. Yeah.
But let's do this probably with another tool, which is like RuCode, just to show that it works everywhere. The RuCode is quite interesting, and probably especially for Microsoft FTEs, because as Microsoft FTE, you would have some credit on Azure, and you can use that credit of about, I don't remember how much it is, but it is enough to deploy the LLM inference endpoint and deploy the GPT 4.1. And 4.1 is basic, and probably 04 mini. And this is enough to fuel this agentic thing for a month or even more. And after 1 month, you will get this recharge, as far as I remember. I'm not sure. We can cut it
No,
if
all
it's
good.
not relevant for everyone else, but yeah, that's the point. So there is no excuse for anyone in Microsoft not to use this.
it and try it
No.
out. Yeah.
So basically, yes, Azure 4.1. This is how it set up. So, and I will ask the same question. Please inspect file MCP tools. Yeah, and let me increase it slightly. Okay, so yeah, again, yeah, it has north wind and some others. Okay. It's under Ubuntu. It's in Ubuntu. Let me open another one in Windows, because that was the one with the latest configuration. And let me go to. Sorry. We can speed up this part. Yes, code here. Let's open here, and yeah, so again, root code work. Let's inspect what MCP it has. Some time to warm up and for us to anticipate the moment of full automation. Okay. Yeah, it's an opinionated enhancement extension, so we have to wait for a while. Meanwhile, we can switch to Claude code. Yeah. So basically, this is the Claude code within terminal, and we can check MCP. What MCP we access? Yeah, we have this. Probably I can also.
That's better.
We can see that this is ABAP Vibe Code. So we have this tools, 36 tools. We can go through basically the same thing as in the Claude desktop. And yes, what I can say, I probably have, yeah. Please inspect MCP, and there was some misunderstanding. Then I ask this.
So, but this actually also shows a very interesting thing now. So we have multiple clients. You talked about Claude Desktop. We talked about Visual Studio Code. We talked about Ruko, and now you're in the Claude CLI. And but in the end, it's always connecting to the same MCP server, which again connects to your SAP system, which then provides all the context that is needed to answer your question here.
Yeah, and as far as I understand, it's like must-have feature. So probably it should be available in Codex CLI, which is from OpenAI, and Gemini CLI, which is also from Google. So if you can connect this to any MCP, then you will be able to use this as well. So yes, it inspected this, and I can ask the same question. So that was quite actually interesting question. So please search class and expect the most one. Yeah, let's maybe ask this question again. And while it is working, we can switch to our friend Rocode. Yes, it is available. So let me check. Yes, I have Azure 4.1 done. Yes, done. And let me ask again the same question. And currently, So yeah, program set, everything else is there. So I will ask also, please generate the data flow graph for ZPL LLM plus. Let us generate, and yeah, you can see that this is the result of Claude CLI. This is implemented. This is balancing. This is the balancer. This is the lazy parallel step. Talking. Well, 1 week ago it was mind blowing, and now it's like, oh, you did a mistake. It's not really like that. So, but yeah, I mean that's really fascinating.
No, it is cool. So it really detects, it is able to fetch the relevant information. It's describing what it finds. It lists the results from the SAP system.
Yeah, and we wanted to create a program that will use this thing so we can actually ground it to actual stuff.
Yes.
So let's do this. Please create a test demo program that will demo the LLM steps. Oh, step. Two steps. So that's really vague. I hope it should find the actual demo, probably take a look on how it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Already know that these classes are there, and then create something. And meanwhile, let's go back to RU code. Yes, so we asked for the data flow graph. Yeah, with yes, approve. Yeah, so basically, yeah, most of the time you like
click on
becoming, yeah, you becoming like a manager.
Yes.
Yes. Or I don't know. Oh yeah.
Okay, so here it's
nice. Special effects. Well, let's switch.
So in the CLI, it's still generating our new test demo program.
Yeah, and eventually it should succeed. And if it is succeeded or not, we will know in our next episode. Yeah. but yeah, I mean, we should be able to. I'm not sure that gets clicked. So seems like why it is glitching, because it is showing the source code of those classes, and this is really big, so it will not fit to the screen. So it probably trying to. I'm not sure if it is trying to ask me something or not. Let me. Who is that? No, it is still doing something. So should be okay. And yeah, here approve. So yeah, after a couple of days of approvals, I created another program that will monitor the screen and will press approve. So I could be really automate the automation. Yeah.
Maybe there's a global setting to always approve automatically.
I believe that it is kind of, there might be, but they are disabled for a reason, because it can,
of course,
it can went rogue and, I don't know, delete everything. But yeah, that's why we have read-only mode.
Oh, there's a question. Ru has a question.
Question, request, how to try to connect class. Watch is like, yes.
But anyway, so I think we've seen the concept. I mean, unfortunately now the code generation is not yet finished. It looks like it's still.
Well, I can. Let's do the simple example that actually always worked. So let me probably this create that local. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7. Hello world program in modern ABAP with output full stack if this class. Okay, it should do something, I hope, because yeah, the whole point of the session was to show the ABAP Vibe Coding, and all we were looking at is some questions and approvals. Let's have some actual stuff.
All good. I mean, I think we started with showing that it is actually able to access the SAP system, to evaluate, to understand. I mean, we had what are the most interesting classes. So I think that already showed that there is access to the SAP system to fetch the relevant image, to read and work with the data. And now we're basically doing the next step and asking, okay, just a simple hello world, but making really sure that all the related dependencies, the classes, that they're really there. Again, using the MCP bridge to connect to the SAP system to verify that the data, that the information that was created is actually true.
It generated in PNG, and that's why it is. So yeah, the flow was generated eventually, but it was converted to PNG, and as you can see,
you cannot really scroll.
Yeah. So the actual question should be like generated in SVG, and then you will be able to zoom it in, and everything will be fine. So yeah, that's it. So this root code has completed the task. This thing is still thinking. This is also thinking. Well, we will probably attach some screenshots of like
from the results. We can definitely do that.
Yeah, because that would be more satisfying than to watch this.
Well, Alice, at least we showed the starting point, and we showed how the concept actually work. Now, I guess a lot of colleagues would ask, well, how can I get this custom OData service that actually has access to my classes, my function modules that you are using there to bridge and to create the MCP server? Have you published this as well already somewhere? This specific OData service?
Not
yet. No, sorry,
this
specific ABAP classes. Obviously.
ABAP class. Not yet. I think it's not yet in shape. As you can see, it only can read the code. So the good end-to-end implementation would be also to write the code, and probably with so basically, as I know from the internals of other AI coding agents, the way they interact with a file system is actually through the MCP. So they have a specific MCP that interacts with file systems. So that's how they create files, classes, and everything. So the only thing that we have to do is to have similar MCP that will do the same operations on classes and stuff, but with the data. So a couple of small steps, and we should be there. And then, guys, I don't know. What should we do next? Everything. Then we have to just have two things like that will differentiate us from the AI developers. Like we have to have a will and taste to
one step after the other.
Yeah.
No, but Alice, I think this is great. This is again a cool insight in some of the work that you're doing and some of the magic that you're releasing. So I'm sure, so as you said, we'll add some screenshots also about the results, basically, maybe about the generated code and stuff like that. As always, I think you have on LinkedIn your profile. We'll link this in the show. You have some fantastic GitHub repos with a lot of amazing content there. And I see the numbers of stars are increasing. So customers or colleagues are really using it more and more. So I think this is a great foundation. I would suggest we'll make a break here, but we will have you back. We talked about this already. We have some nice future episodes planned as well. For now, I think this is a great teaser to show what is actually possible, what's the way that we are thinking of to continue. So yeah, Alice, with this, first of all, thank you so much again for joining us and for doing all the work, all your fantastic work here. I know it's very much appreciated across the globe in the meantime. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me and for such an interesting conversation and the opportunity to show the stuff that I'm doing. So yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.